At this juncture, Chi-sam, his friend, came out of a roadside drinking establishment. Chi-sam's wrinkled, fat face was a purple glow, and jet whiskers covered cheeks and chin, offering a striking contrast to the appearance of Kim Chum-ji, whose face was wizened and sallow, with here and there a furrow cut across it, and a skimpy beard that amounted to no more than a few inverted pine needles of stubble beneath his chin. "Hello, Kim Chum-ji. On your way back from the city, I see. Made a lot of money, I presume. How about standing me a drink?" cried the corpulent Chi-sam at the sight of his skinny friend. His voice was soft and gentle in contrast to his bearing. Kim Chum-ji was indescribably glad to see his friend. He was as grateful as if Chi-sam were a benefactor who had saved his life. "You seem to have had one already. You look in good form yourself today," Kim Chum-ji said, a smile spreading across his face. "I'd have my drink whether I was in good form or not. But what happened to you? You're like a drowned rat. Come on here and dry yourself." The drinking house was warm and comfortable, the clouds of steam rising whitely into the air whenever the lid of the fish pot was lifted, the beef broiling on the gridiron, dressed meats, liver, soybeans, pollock, lentil pancakes, the disorderly arrangement of side dishes on the table. It all brought an unbearable burning hunger to Kim Chum-ji's stomach. If he followed his inclinations, he could have gobbled down everything edible there and still not be satisfied. Ravenously hungry, he decided to start with something that had a little body to it. He ordered 2 meat pies warmed up and a bowl of fish soup. With the taste of food, his famished inside became more and more empty, demanding more and more food. He gulped down a bowl of soup with bean curd and loach, as if it were water. As he sat to his third bowl, the 2 double makgeollis, being warmed up, were ready. Drinking there with Chi-sam, his empty stomach seemed to suddenly fill out and a warm glow came to his face. He knocked another double straight back. Kim Chum-ji's eyes already were becoming bleary. His cheeks bulged with 2 pieces of rice cake, large pieces cut from the gridiron, and he ordered 2 more doubles. Sam looked at Kim Chum-ji a little dubiously. "More? We've had 4 each already. That'll come to 40 John," he warned. "What a bloody man. Is 40 John big money? I made a pile today. This was a real lucky day." "How much did you make?" "I made 31. Why shouldn't I pour this damned liquor? It's all right. It doesn't matter how much we drink. I made a pile today." "Ah, you're drunk. You've had enough." "You think this is enough to make me drunk? Come on, drink up," he cried, pulling Chi-sam's ear. Then he turned on the boy who was pouring the makgeolli, a boy of about 14 with cropped hair. "Pour, you little bastard," he shouted at the boy. The boy with the cropped head giggled and looked questioningly at Chi-sam. The drunken man read the look and thundered in anger. "You little bastard! You'd lay your own mother! You think I've no money!" He fumbled in his waist pocket, took out a 1-1 note and threw it angrily at the boy. A few silver coins jingled and fell in the process. "Look, you've let some fall. Why are you throwing money all over the place?" Chi-sam said, beginning to pick up the money. Kim Chum-ji, drunk though he was, opened his eyes wide to see where the money had gone. He looked down at the floor, And then, as if shocked by the degradation of what he was doing, he shook his head and gave vent to an even greater anger. "Look here, you dirty sons of bitches! You think I've no money? I should break every bone in your bodies!" He took the money Chisam had gathered and flung it away. "Blasted money! Damn blasted money!" he cried. The coin struck the wall and fell into the bowl where the makgeolli was being warmed, emitting a jingling cry as if getting a deserved beating. 2 more doubles were filled and emptied in one movement. Kim Chum-ji licked the makgeolli on his lips and beard. Stroking his pine needle stub of a beard, he shouted, as if greatly pleased with himself, "Another! Keep pouring!" After yet another double, Kim Chum-ji slapped Chisam on the shoulder and burst into boisterous laughter so loud that the eyes of everyone in the establishment were drawn toward him. He laughed all the more. Look, Chisam, I'll tell you a funny story. I brought someone to the station today, you see." "So?" "Having gone there, I just couldn't come back empty, so I was hanging around the tram stop, wondering how I'd get a fare, and there's a lady or maybe a student. It's hard to know a kisang from an ordinary girl these days. Standing there in the rain wearing a cape. I eased up beside her, asked her did she want a rickshaw, and tried to take her back. She brushes away my hand, wheels violently around and shouts, 'Why are you pestering people like this? There's a warbling for you!' Kim Chum-ji cried with a laugh, and he gave a very good imitation of a warble. Everyone laughed. Beggarly old bitch. Who did she think she was talking to? Hadn't even dignity in her mourning. Laughter swelled all around, but Kim Chum-ji began to snivel before the laughter faded away. Chisam was at a loss to know what to do. He looked hard at the drunken man. Laughing and kicking up a racket 1 minute, crying the next minute. What does it all mean? Kim Chum-ji kept sniveling. My wife's dead, he said. What? Your wife dead? When? What do you mean when? Today, of course. You're crazy. Don't be telling lies. Why would I lie? She's dead. Really. Me drinking, she lying there lifeless. I deserve to be killed, to be killed. Kim Chum-ji burst into loud wailing. Chisam's face showed that the pleasant mood had been broken. I can't tell whether the man is telling the truth or lying. Come on, we'll go to the house, he said, pulling the crying man's arm. Kim Chum-ji broke away from Chisam's grip and began to laugh soundlessly through tear-filled eyes. Who says anyone's dead? He cried, greatly elated. Why should she be dead? She's as alive can be. Using up good food. I fooled you. He clapped his hands and laughed like a child. I don't know whether you're really out of your mind or not. I heard your wife was sick, Chisam said, and as if he felt a certain apprehension, he urged Kim Chum-ji to go home. She's not dead, I tell you, she's not dead. Although Kim Chum-ji shouted with angry conviction, there was something in his voice that hinted at an effort on his part to believe she wasn't dead. They had one more double each, rounding out the 1-1, and came away. A dirty rain was still dripping down. Drunk though he was, Kim Chum-ji bought some salongtang and arrived home. Home was a bit of an exaggeration. Actually, it was a rented house. Not all of the house, mind you, but a tiny servant's room, separate from the rest of the house. for which he paid 1 won a month in addition to drawing water for the main house. Had Kim Chum-ji not been affected by drink, he would have trembled before the awful silence that dominated the place when he put his foot on the threshold, like the silence of the sea after a rainstorm has passed. No racking cough could be heard, no tortured breathing even. Only one sound broke the grave-like silence, not breaking it really, rather giving it added depth, the lonely, ominous sound of a child sucking its mother's breast. Perhaps someone with sensitive hearing might have guessed that the sound was entirely a sucking sound, that there was no gulping sound of milk being swallowed, that the child was sucking an empty breast. Perhaps even Kim Chum-ji guessed the ominousness of the silence. If not, it was rather odd that as soon as he stepped onto the threshold, he began to shout, "Damn woman! Her husband home and she doesn't come out to meet him! Goddamn woman!" The shout was mere bluster to dispel the sinister fear that was suddenly bearing down on him. Kim Chum-ji threw the door open, a nauseating stench, the smell of dirt beneath the reed mat, the smell of stool and urine from unwashed diapers, the smell of all sorts of dirty clothes, the smell of stale sweat from the patient, pierced his drink-blurred nostrils. The drunken man began to yell at the top of his voice as soon as he entered the room. He didn't even take time to put the salungtang down in one corner. "What a bloody woman! In bed night and day! Is that all you want to do? You can't even get up when your husband comes?" And as he shouted, he drew a vicious kick at her legs. But it wasn't human flesh he was kicking. It felt like the stump of a tree. The sucking sound changed to a whimper. The child let go the nipple it had been sucking and began to cry. The child's face was all puckered. It was dry crying. No tears came. Even the whimpering sound seemed to come from the child's belly, not its lips. Crying and crying, till no sound could come from its throat, and it seemed not to have the strength to cry again. When Kim Chum-ji saw he was getting no results from kicking, he fell on his wife's head and began to pull and shake her magpie's nest of hair. "Damn woman! Say something! Talk! Are you dumb? Goddamn woman!" There was no reaction. "Oh God, look at her! She won't say a thing!" Still no reaction. "Oh God, no answer! She must be really dead!" Suddenly, he noticed that her eyes were staring straight up with only the whites showing. Your eyes! Why won't they look straight at me? Why are they staring at the ceiling? Why?" he cried. No other sound could come from his throat. Then the tears of the living spotted and wet the stiff face of the dead, like Hyun's droppings. Kim Chum-ji was like a man gone, mad. Then the tears of the living spotted and wet the stiff face of the dead, like Hyun's droppings. Kim Chum-ji was like a man gone mad, as he rubbed his face against the dead woman's. "I brought you some salungtang," he muttered. "Why won't you eat it? Why won't you eat it? Unbelievable. Today of all days, and my luck was in."